Welcome back, it's Doug MPA. On my channel, I always say women can't stand each other. Men can become true friends and brothers. Women tolerate each other at best. Ask your friends who are women, guys. They'll tell you the person that's hurt them the most is usually another woman. Ask them. Ask them. So I have a compilation of women who found out that their female best friends hated them. They're going to tell us all about that. Before I get into this compilation, like the video, subscribe, drop a comment. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me, what I'm doing over here. And let's get into this.
I had this friend for years who would just periodically say things to kind of put me down or make me look bad, particularly in front of other people, sometimes joking at my expense, and I just didn't notice her doing that with other people. Or just her compliments and stuff just didn't seem sincere. There felt like there was just some kind of undertone to them. And I found myself at multiple points over the years, sometimes coming away thinking to myself, why would she treat me that way? Or why would she say that if she was my friend?
Jeez. False compliments and backhanded compliments? Really?
Jesus H. Christ.
That's how women operate, guys. Oh, you look great in that dress. That color looks great on you. Especially when you have the pretty friend that always has to have the fat friend that makes her feel better about herself. You see a 9 or a 10, and her best friend's a 300-pound refrigerator guarding the snack, looking like Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, why do those two always hang out? And the pretty one is giving the big one all these compliments just to be able to keep her around and make her feel better.
And then I realized I had to look at the second part of that question, if she was my friend. Because honestly, now that I look back at it, I don't know if she was my real friend. And I honestly don't know if she liked me either. And when I started to question that and realize that, a lot of stuff made more sense.
So I guarantee you, there's a confrontation with this girl and her friend, and she's like, "Why do you talk to me in such a mean way?" And of course, her friend's not going to take accountability. So her friend says,
"How dare you?"
And she says, "Why is every time I tell you something good in my life, you have to tear it down?" Her friend says,
"How dare you?"
"Why is it every time I talk to you about a guy I like, you have to say mean things?" Her friend says,
"How dare you?"
Women can't stand each other. They don't like when other women are winning when it comes to their professional lives and their personal lives, especially relationships, guys. And a lot of these women have to find out the hard way that their friends are not their friends.
Have you guys ever had a friend that just hated you? Even though there was no competition, there was always silent competition. I found that my friend absolutely hated me when we went on a double date. Prior to the date, the guy really told me that he didn't feel comfortable with it. Basically said that in the past he's had girlfriends and he knows there's always secret competition between the girls and he doesn't want to put himself or me in an awkward situation.
So did you hear that, guys? This guy has had this happen in the past. He's been in this situation. He said, "I don't want to go because something's going to happen between you and your friend." And like most modern women, she didn't listen. And he was dumb enough to go anyway.
I knew my friend really well, so I told him, don't even stress about it. We're not like that. We're like sisters. She shows up with her boyfriend, and immediately when she sees the guy, she all of a sudden wants to be obnoxious, doing cartwheels in the middle of the street, and being just extremely talkative. Which it's fine. I know my self-worth, and I am attractive, so I don't care. She was making a fool out of herself, and honestly, I just allowed it.
So this girl is acting a fool to attract her boyfriend in front of the guy that she brought on the double date.
Jesus H. Christ.
Women, guys.
At the end of the day, I just knew it spoke to her character more than it did mine, and you don't have to be the loudest to be the most confident in the room. Show up to this restaurant that the guy wanted to eat at, and again, mind you, it was our date, and she starts making a scene and throwing a tantrum, so we had to leave, which is already so rude. Basically made the entire date about herself, but to add on to that, she kept making fun of me. She was like, "Oh, your feet are so small, you're so tiny, you're so this, you're so that. Pick me energy." And
Keep telling you guys, women can't stand each other. I've said it multiple times in this video. Because they will step over each other. They will say things about each other, down each other to get what they wanted. And her friend wanted to try to get her man in front of her boyfriend.
and even proceeded to ask the guy what his dream girl is. Honestly, I just felt really bad for the boyfriend because I know my now boyfriend, if I ever did that to him, he would dump me on the spot. On our way
And I guarantee you, her friend's boyfriend's a simp and stayed with her. I guarantee it.
home, she even told me, wow, I'm surprised he didn't find me attractive because a lot of times when I go on double dates, the guys leave the friend for me. And that's when I found out that my friend actually deeply hates me, because why would she try to embarrass me in front of my date?
And the thing about it is these women act shocked. Us men, we don't act shocked at all. That's why if you take a woman seriously, if she might be wife material, most of the time you gotta get her to get rid of her friends, guys. And this is why. A woman's friends will bring so much negative energy into you guys' serious relationship or marriage. And you might have to tell her, woman, you gotta get rid of this girl. I'm tired of hearing about the drama. I'm tired of hearing about the garbage. What do you not understand? Your friend hates you. And of course, your girlfriend or your wife's gonna be like,
How dare you?
We've known each other since high school. She's been a snake to you since high school. We've known each other since college. She's been a snake to you since college. Most of the time, guys, if you take a woman seriously, you're going to have to tell her to get rid of some, if not all, of her friends.
Let's talk about the girl best friends I've had that actually hated me. I've been waiting to do this while I get ready and do my makeup to talk about it, but I'm sick and I don't see myself putting on makeup anytime soon in the next few days, so I'm gonna do my skincare while we talk about it. I completely forgot about this, or didn't even realize that this is what this was all these years until A, my boyfriend reminded me of this one particular story, and then B, I saw a girl on here talking about it and I was like, oh my god, that's totally what it was.
So if her boyfriend reminded her of a particular story, it probably meant that her boyfriend has been telling her the whole time he's known her, you gotta get rid of this woman. She is not your friend. And she kept her around anyway.
I'm just gonna cover up this label right now, but listen, it's really hydrating and nice, okay? But basically I had this one girlfriend from middle school throughout almost the end of high school. I think junior year was when I finally kind of ended it. In middle school we were always friends, but we didn't become close till probably freshman, sophomore year of high school. And she was always a bit would always say things that were kind of mean and tearing me down, but it was oh my god, I'm joking, it's a joke, haha, people that try and play it off like that. And I was just kind of okay, yeah, whatever. I didn't think much of it because I'm not someone who's sensitive. I grew up with an older brother. I'm used to that kind of banter and I can stick up for myself, and yeah, I don't know, I just never viewed it as that deep. And then as we got closer and closer, I feel it would just get more and more intense, and all our friends knew if they were gonna hang out with us, we would end up arguing at some point because for example, I vividly remember this one time I was talking about how I was going to take chemistry class over summer school so I could just get out of the way and didn't have to do it during the school year because I liked to do that. I took summer school classes every single year of middle school through high school because I always just wanted to get a class out of the way that was harder to make the year easier. I'm glad I did that because it actually was what made me able to graduate high school early. But as I'm telling her that, she goes, why would you do that? That's so dumb, and ball, and just goes off. And I was like, what? And we're arguing in the car with other friends next. I'm why do you even care? Why are you saying this is not your life? It doesn't affect you. And just that kind of vibe, Then
So you got to be careful as to what you tell people. Give people one or two chances to tell them something and see how they react. If they react in a negative way, don't tell them anything, guys. Don't. Because especially when you're young, you young guys, listen to this. If you're below 30, you're still at that age where a person you consider your friend can kind of make you take a safer route or be risk averse. You can't afford to do that in your 20s, guys. You got to take the serious risks now when you're young and you can bounce back. Don't listen to people that will constantly tear you down, question your motivations. And that's even in a relationship, guys. Don't be with a woman who will tear you down, who will take you away from your purpose. Don't do it.
The most insane instances, and this one story in particular that my boyfriend reminded me of, because we're still dating to this day, is they had a class together that was right after lunch near the end of the school day, and me and this girl had gone to a party together over the weekend, and nothing crazy. I was not out drinking, getting fucked up in high school. It just wasn't my thing. I rarely even went to parties. But my boyfriend comes up to me after this class and he was hey, what happened this weekend? And I was what are you talking about? And he's super concerned and panicked. He's blank was saying oh, did Sarah tell you about what happened this weekend? And I was what does she mean? He was I don't know, she wouldn't say. She just kept being no, you should really ask Sarah. Sarah should be the one to tell you. Sarah should tell you herself, blah blah blah. And I was what? Literally nothing happened at all. She was completely just making this up and saying this shit to him to make it sound like I did something shady. And the more
That'll do it, guys. Saying something to mess up the trust between her and her boyfriend. It's this passive aggressive, subtle type of stuff. That's one of those things where it's something small, but it'll sow the seeds of doubt between those two. This is a type of snake underhanded stuff that women do to each other.
the same part was that, like, I don't even think I confronted her about this or did anything. Yeah, there's something wrong with me for, like, just accepting this and allowing this to happen, but you're probably hearing this being like, whoa, that's crazy. But at the time I was hearing it being like, wow, that is so stupid.
No, guys, we're not hearing this thinking that it's crazy because we know how women act towards each other. It's not crazy to us.
And dumb, but like, oh yeah, that's her. Like, I just like wasn't even surprised at it, so it just seemed like kind of normal, you know? But yeah, moral of the story, if this sounds similar to any kind of friend you have at all, ditch them, because I guarantee you your life will get 8 million times better. You will have so much more energy, be so much less worn out from like trying to combat that all the time, or just even being like told all these things about yourself all the time, even if it's in like a joking way. Like, it's not, and like hearing that all the time is just not for you, you know? And not what a friend is. Like, friends are supposed to be just supportive and great and only good times, good vibes. And like, now I only have like the best, most supportive friends in the world close to me, and if you're staying close to people like that, it prevents you from finding the actual good people.
Yeah, I agree with her at the end. Let me give her a round of applause. As you get older, who you let in your circle matters. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Ladies, if you're with a guy who says get rid of your girlfriend, there's a reason why. Get rid of those girlfriends. They've probably been doing exactly what has been happening to these women in your life for years and years and years. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. Like the video, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.